Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition, the final edition of Diamond Chat for this spring on WEOL's Facebook page and website, and on the Chronicle Telegram's Facebook page and website. A lot of different ways to watch Diamond Chat, and it has been a pleasure for us to bring it to you each and every week. Tim Alcorn with AM 930 WEOL, Shaun Bennett from the Chronicle Telegram, and of course the guy behind the camera throughout the weeks as part of Diamond Chat has been Bruce Bishop from the Chronicle Telegram as well. And as I mentioned, our final edition of Diamond Chat, so of course a huge thank you goes out to Dr. Karen Kramer in Grafton. She has been the sponsor of Diamond Chat throughout its spring run, and without her support, this would not be on the air, per se. So, again, a great big thank you to Dr. Karen Kramer. And, well, it's been a fun run as far as these Diamond Chats are concerned, and certainly a fun run as far as a local baseball and softball team, Shaun.
Yeah, and I feel exhausted. I just like... And I, it's been awesome. It's been watching the baseball and softball players, do their thing. See where we were right back in episode 1, and see where we were more often than not wrong. And but it's been a great season. So I've enjoyed it tremendously.
And of course, it all culminates in another Final Four appearance for the Keystone Lady Wildcats. Just a remarkable program. This extended run of excellence down in LaGrange. Boy, Jim Piazza has just built a powerhouse softball program. Their 17th Final Four appearance.
Yeah, and I wasn't. I went to the for the regional preview. I went to one of their practices. It was pouring out, so they did it at the old Keystone High School gymnasium. You remember that little
bandbox?
Yes. I go in there, and I've been to hundreds, maybe thousands of practices for various sports through the last 22, 23 years that I've been doing this. And I go in there, and I walk in, and they've got two indoor batting cages set up over here, batting stations over here, a bunting station down this line. Every Keystone girl is wearing an identical batting helmet, wearing batting helmets indoors while in line, not even batting yet, wearing identical T-shirts, wearing identical shorts, uniform. It looks like a military operation. I can't tell you how impressed I was watching this. It was something to behold, and it kind of immediately, and as soon as I'm sitting there watching this all unfold, I'm like, this is why this program is successful. It was just, hands down one of the most impressive things I've seen. Usually out on the field is where you see it, but a lot of times that's where you win, is in those practices. And they really, those girls are bought in. They're in tune. They're all synced up. It's amazing.
It really is. So Keystone in the Final Four Thursday, weather permitting. Let's hope Alberto's remains don't really affect us here in Northeast Ohio. But the scheduled start time Thursday at 12:30 for Keystone down in Akron. Of course, a little plug here. We'll have that game on WEOL. Looking forward to it.
How many times are we're eating lunch across the street because we're waiting for hours through rain and sleet sleet? Yes,
we've had it all down there.
It's insane. So yes, weather permitting, let's hope that everything goes on off without a hitch here.
All right, Bruce Bishop, we haven't forgotten about you over there. You've been an integral part of this show since we've got it started. So jump in here at any point.
I'd like to think extremely integral.
Yes.
Just critical. Couldn't do it without me.
Super integral.
Super integral.
Super integral.
Super impressively integral.
That's right. So, we were talking earlier. We were working on the show notes and getting things ready together for how we were going to do things, and we decided that we're just going to do that today. So, I think what we're going to do is just kind of casually chat about things. So, we'll actually do the show prep live. How's that?
All right, let's do it. Maybe we'll kind of go 1 week back because we mentioned Keystone in the Final Four as far as softball is concerned, ranked number 1 in the state of Ohio, number 7 now nationally as far as this Keystone softball program is concerned. So obviously they won their regional championship and won it rather handily per se. Obviously they got the regional final win over Defiance, but Shaun, their time in Tiffin, again, I was away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really appear, at least from my long distance perspective, that they were even challenged.
No, I mean, Oak Harbor was their toughest challenge, and on paper will be their toughest challenge of the whole postseason. Oak Harbor was ranked number 3. Keystone's ranked number 1. They went in there, beat them 4-1, handled them pretty well. Then went in the final against Defiance and won 8-2. I was at that game. Just kind of dominated from the start. 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Looking ahead, they've got an unranked team in the state semifinals, Lancaster Fairfield Union. And on the other side of the bracket, in the other state semifinal, is number 7, Plain City Jonathan Alder versus Beloit West Branch. So I would say Keystone is heavily favored to win their 4th state championship, Lorain County's 7th state championship.
Wow.
Probably move up in the USA Today Super 25. I was kind of like maybe they'll win another national championship, but that's probably not going to happen because the team that's sitting number 1 right now, Neshoba Central of Mississippi, is number 1. They're unbeaten, and they just won their state championship, so they're pretty much locked in, I think, into that number 1 national ranking for the rest of the year. So, but Keystone, yeah, I mean, you expect them to do well every year, but people they've kind of held on to that people were counting us out thing because they had some losses last year, true, but I knew coming in they were going to still have a great season because they had double-digit amount of girls going on to play college ball, so they're going to have big things and stuff like that. So, but they have probably done a little better than even what I expected with national rankings, top 10 national ranking at this point.
Are they going to be losing any really key players with graduations this year?
They have some seniors. Obviously, the big one's Maddie Nunez. She's had just an outrageous year, broke the county record for RBIs, has like 11 home runs. She's their middle of the order hitter. And they have several other seniors, I think Val Brosh, down at that are like in the bottom part of the lineup that have been really key as well. So they are losing some girls, but they do have a great core coming back, including junior pitcher Sydney Campbell, who's I think 27-0 now with 3 perfect games and 18 shutouts and a 0.21 or 1.8 ERA and 200 plus strikeouts. Just an amazing year. So, and with Sydney Campbell, she's going to Oakland University. I'm wondering after this year if not, some of these big programs that are, perennial College World Series contenders aren't kind of like, taking notice and maybe like say, hey, I know you're kind of committed to Oakland, but you ain't signed yet. So, I don't know. She's really like raised some eyes, I think, certainly locally, but even on a national scale, I would bet.
You would hope that a player of that caliber would have the ability to step back and say, I want to reconsider this a little bit. In all seriousness, because you know what? Too often the players, the recruits, they don't hold the cards. And maybe this is a scenario where she does.
But I don't want to take away. Oakland University might be the perfect fit for her, so maybe that's what it is. But she committed. I don't know, freshman year maybe.
It was early.
Yeah. So I would think that there are going to be big programs kind of like stand up and take a notice. And she's really powerful pitcher. She has she hits the corners. She does everything right. So there are Division I programs that I know that would love to have her.
By the way, not to steal your thunder, but also in the regional, as far as softball was concerned, while I was away, I was tracking via the Chronicle website and so forth. Tough loss for the Elyria High Lady Pioneers. Man, oh man, up in Clyde, extra inning affair. Boy, they couldn't ask more from Izzy St. Peter. They just ran into a great pitcher and lose on a tough play at the end. But hats off to Ken Fennick and his team. They just ran into a real tough pitcher, and sometimes you just come up a little bit short.
Yeah, well, you can see I've got my end of summer tan before the summer has even began, and I'd say 80% of this is from sitting at that Elyria game out there at Clyde because it was just going, and there was people there sitting thinking like this game's never going to end. 0-0 going into the 10th inning, and you're right. It's amazing. That Perrysburg pitcher is fantastic. Izzy had a great game. No earned runs. Obviously, there was 1-0 in 10th inning, and they scored on an error. And it was really both the fact that she had a great pitching performance and the defense behind her made some incredible plays. Like probably if I had a top 10 defensive plays of the season, 3 or 4 of those top 10 plays would have come right from that game from Elyria players. So just some amazing, catches and dives and all kinds of crazy stuff in that game.
Bruce, you mentioned earlier about some of the players that Keystone will lose. I do want to tip my cap to Elyria senior April Hauser. What a phenomenal career she had as a Lady Pioneer. Last year as a junior, kind of carried that team literally on her shoulders through the regional tournament to get them to a Final Four. I don't want to leave out any other seniors, but certainly April Hauser at Elyria High just had a phenomenal career.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of jotted down some of my top like 3 in each class in high school, and my seniors were Maddie Nunez from Keystone, April Hauser from Elyria, and Gabby Shackelford from Midview. Those 3 I've been watching all year. I kind of went in thinking they were all going to do. Obviously, April had a great. She in the regionals last year was pretty much the reason that Elyria got through into the state tournament, where they went ahead and won their 3rd state championship. And then we know what Maddie's doing this year, and then Gabby Shackelford going to Cleveland State. Had an excellent year as well. So, yeah, all 3 of those girls have been 3 of the top in the county. A lot of fun to watch.
And real quick on the regional side, baseball-wise, tough loss for Amherst. Boy, nobody had been able to figure out Evan Shawver all year long. And not that Strongsville knocked him around, but they were able to get some base hits, get some base runners, and another extra inning loss in a regional for a Lorain County team. Amherst succumbs to Strongsville, but they still end up being the poll champion as far as that final AP poll was concerned. So great season for not only Evan Shawver, but everybody in that Amherst baseball program led by Matt Rossitano. He was named the Division I Coach of the Year in the state of Ohio. So congratulations to Amherst, even though they came up short in the regional. And even though Firelands really took a pounding in their regional, hats off to Dan Ransom and his team over at Firelands High School. We had mentioned a couple of times during these Diamond Chats, Firelands hadn't been able to get over the hump as far as winning a district championship, where they finally got that this year. They got that district title, went up to that regional, and Coach Ransom was very honest. Again, while I was away, I read the Chronicle accounts online, and he said the moment was pretty big for us, and it's something that our younger players will learn from. Just the buildup of a regional and the crowd and the anticipation, it kind of got to his team. They were sloppy in the field, but they'll learn from it. So hopefully the Firelands kids will be back. But hats off to Firelands and a terrific season over at Firelands High School.
Yeah, great performances on that baseball side, and man, Shawver, I tell you what. He also, I believe, was the Division I Player of the Year in Ohio, and was at the All-Star game, which the baseball's already had their All-Star game, was named the Lorain County Mr. Baseball. I think even bigger things are ahead of him, and probably not too far into the future. When is the MLB draft?
MLB draft.
Coming up soon. So, yeah, he's been impressive to watch. It's great to see him go on and do great things, but you kind of, selfishly wish maybe he had another year so we could see him watch him play locally another, season or so.
Well, it was interesting to hear Amherst head coach Matt Rossitano say, now he's going to be a little bit biased, but he's going to say flat out, Evan Shawver was the best high school pitcher that he's ever seen come out of Lorain County. You think about Eric Lauer right now, pitching at the major league level with the Padres. You think about Firabend out of Midview, who, of course, reached the major league level. You think about Oliver out of Vermilion High School a few years back that reached the major league level. So Matt Rossitano, so all those guys pitch. And to say I put Evan Shawver at the high school level above those guys and several more, that really is a telling statement. So, again, Evan Shawver, congratulations to you on a remarkable career, and best of luck in your future.
Okay. I think we're close to wrapping up, don't you think? Any final thoughts from anybody?
Any final thoughts?
Well, we want to mention, too, that the Lorain County, we mentioned the All-Star game for the baseball has already taken place, but the Lorain County Senior All-Star game for softball will be June 4th at North Ridgeville, so hopefully we'll see everybody out there. They will name the Coaches Player of the Year Award, the Lorain County Miss Softball Award, and like I said, there's already a lot of good contenders for those awards, and there'll be a lot of great players out there, in that game as well. Yeah, other than that, just a great year overall. I mean, the teams that I kind of went in my preview, I'm happy to say all did well. Keystone, Elyria, Amherst, Midview, and Lorraine. I think Lorraine won the LEL. Amherst and Midview shared the SWC. Elyria won the GCC. Keystone won the PAC. Wellington came out with a state ranking, so congrats to the Wellington Dukes, and they've got a lot back next year, so I expect big things from them next year. And the one kind of dark horse for me that I wanted to mention was North Ridgeville. A couple years ago, I think they won 2 games. Last year, I think they won 4 or 5 games. This year, I think they were right around 500, maybe even having a winning record with a good core group. A lot of freshmen last year that became sophomores this year with a year under their belts. Next year, they'll be juniors with a couple years under their belts with and a new freshman in Rachel Meese. So I expect North Ridgeville to be right there behind Amherst, maybe North Ridgeville, Midview, battling up in that upper echelon next year. So I wanted to say congrats to the North Ridgeville softball team as well.
Very cool. And I guess I would wrap things up, Bruce, by simply saying it has been a pleasure to bring this to the viewers throughout the past 9 or 10 weeks, whatever it ended up being. I know it was a nice little run here as far as Diamond Chat was concerned, and I know I speak for Shaun Bennett and you, Bruce, when we talk about the fact that we love high school sports, going back to the fall and high school football, and then in the winter with high school basketball, girls and boys, and now baseball and softball. And baseball and softball, Shaun, is a sport that for several years really didn't get a lot of coverage. And yet on the newspaper side, I know you guys have really picked it up. For us on the radio side, on WEOL, our coverage of the games has really expanded. And it's cool to see the feedback. I know you pointed out several times the numbers that were on these views, on these Diamond Chat views, have just been terrific. So again, we thank you. It's been a lot of fun, and it certainly has shown that there's a tremendous amount of interest as far as high school baseball and softball is concerned.
Yeah, it feels like we've seen 1,000 games, and it's scary because we're just getting started. At least for me as a travel softball parent, and all the travel softball, and a lot of the people that are watching us are travel softball and baseball families, friends, players. Wow, it's going to be a big summer. So get back out there on the diamonds. Have some fun. It's going to be a good year.
The only disappointment, Bruce Bishop, would be final show of the year and no Mary Bennett snacks, no treats.
I was going to say we needed to. I want
What?
a big thank
What?
you. There was a big thank you. Thank you for the treats, and she's softball super mom. I got some notes through Shaun. She watched the shows and critiqued different things. She wasn't a fan of the air horn. Didn't like the air horn. But no, I just want to thank everybody for all the support.
She did love the show, and she was on it. And as far as the treats, she just unfortunately got really busy the last 2 weeks and has not been able to send them in. But I'm sure she'll be back on it. We got the wrestling show coming up, or sports shows next year. She'll be back to it.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for Bruce Bishop behind the camera. Shaun Bennett, I'm Tim Alcorn with AM 930 WEOL. And again, great big thank you. Dr. Karen Kramer down in Grafton. She really is the person that has made all of this possible. So I guess our Bright Smile Award for the final Diamond Chat goes out to Dr. Karen Kramer. She gets the bright smile.
Well managed, Tim. Good job.
All right, so for Bruce and Shaun, Tim Alcorn saying thanks again for watching not only this week, but throughout the high school baseball and softball season on Diamond Chat.